want to know, is Pooh Shiesty just a fuck nigga who's crying? Or is there validity to what the fuck he's saying? Of debunking cultural myths, we're going to talk about a series of unfortunate events. Gucci Mane, the businessman. Now, I know a lot of people feel like Gucci Mane started out as a businessman when he started signing people to Brick Squad in 1017, but baby, he been a businessman. Even when he was fucked up and off them drugs, baby, he was still a businessman, even before Keisha Kior. Okay, he was dropping collaborations, mixtapes. He had street credibility. He branded himself on his own, okay? He did that on his own, straight out the gutter bread and peanut butter, and he was doing it, okay? Now, why am I calling it a series of unfortunate events if Gucci Mane has been successful all this time and he been a businessman? Let's get into it. Now, in this, we are going to be debunking and talking about what happens when a person is trying to survive the system and then eventually they become the person who's in control of the system. Walk with me. The reason that I want to talk about this so much, obviously, is because Pooh Shiesty just dropped this album and there's a lot going on with that. But before we talk about Pooh Shiesty, I would like to dial it back because y'all know me. I'm a history girly. And we're going to talk about the first success story from Gucci Mane, which would be none other than Waka Flocka Flame, signed to none other than Brick Squad. But quite obviously, as we all know, Waka Flocka was being managed by his mother prior to him signing to Gucci Mane's label. So Mama Deb had already been managing Waka Flocka. Waka Flocka signed to Gucci Mane, okay? He had success, right? He had his first album or mixtape. It went big. We all knew Waka Flocka. Now, that dropped in what? The 2010-esque era. By 2013, Waka Flocka was dropped by Gucci Mane's label. Okay, by 2018, they were basically talking about how neither one of them fuck with each other. And Gucci Mane was saying Deb was trying to rob money from him. Deb was saying that Gucci Mane was trying to take money from them. Waka Flocka said that Gucci tried to take credit for so many things that he did that he kind of pioneered, and he never got credit for it because Gucci Mane was taking the credit. Okay, so we have a plethora of artists, right? And I'm going to go through all of them because I don't want you to think that this is going to stop here. So we have a Waka Flocka. We have a Fujiano. We have an Asian Doll. We have a Pooh Shiesty. We have, who else do we have that was signed to him that anybody might know their name? Give me a moment. And an honorable mention for Big Scar and Enchanting. Rest in peace. Now, let's finish going through these series of unfortunate events because as of right now, we're really only talking about Gucci Mane as a businessman, but unfortunately, okay, Gucci Mane as a businessman equates to a series of unfortunate events. And a lot of people would say that Gucci Mane is a great businessman, and I'm not negating that he is. We're just going to go through the history of his artists and his well-known artists and see if there are really any artists that truly feel like Gucci Mane uplifted him out the mud. Because I want to know, is Pooh Shiesty just a fuck nigga who's crying? Or is there validity to what the fuck he's saying? So let's continue to get into it. So we just talked about Waka Flocka. He signed to Gucci Mane. He dropped Flockavelli. He got dropped in 2013. By 2018, they was talking shit. Okay, so now we're on to the next person. Now, Young Thug, I will probably say, is the biggest example of success of someone who was signed to Gucci Mane, okay? Now, Young Thug was signed to Gucci Mane. Okay. And I do want to have an honorable mention that Young Thug was already bubbling in Atlanta well before Gucci Mane or Pee Wee Longway discovered him. But Gucci Mane did give him that $25,000 advance, which I'm pretty sure is what put him on and put him out to the masses. So now we're moving on to the next person. And we got Asian Doll. Now, she's the most interesting subject out of them all. Love Asian Doll. Been a fan of her since 2016. So I followed the whole thing all the way through. I loved Asian Doll 2016. 2017 comes around. She signs to 1017 as the first lady. I'm like, okay, she's the first woman to ever be signed to Gucci Mane's label. Let's see what it does. She stopped putting out music. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I love Asian Doll. At first, she said that it felt like a family. She was so happy to be a part of Gucci Mane's label. When they actually parted ways in 2020, they both said it was an amicable parting. It was respectable. She asked to get out of her contract. He let her out. I know that that's not the truth. And it ended up coming out when Pooh Shiesty dropped his album because she started doing interviews talking about how basically it was hell to get out of her album. She couldn't put fucking records out the way that she wanted to. And basically what it seems like is that it was a regular old bait and switch. He basically made her feel like it's family vibes over here. Welcome to the motherfucking cookout, Asian Doll. Next thing you know, Asian Doll can't even drop no motherfucking music. Was 10. Okay. Then it took her forever to get out of the deal because she didn't drop music for years. And mind you, I will say she is one of the only people, and I have researched it, so don't come for me. one of the only people to ever escape a fucking 1017 deal without death, prison, or being dropped, okay? OJ the Juice Man was in fact a caveat. He got out. Y'all do with that what y'all want to, all right? Now, once this shit with Pooh Shiesty started surfacing, she basically started popping shit, and people were mad at Asian Doll, as they always are because they're haters, saying that she just always wanted to speak on something, but this was her reality. This was a part of her life, okay? And then we move on to Pooh Shiesty, the big one, the big fish, right? Now, this is the thing with Pooh Shiesty. He's one of the bigger examples of someone who actually became successful from being a part of 1017. So, Gucci deserves credit for that. However, the relationship deteriorated very quickly. Why? Because his deal was fucking shit. My problem with Gucci Mane is that the same system that he was trying to escape, he started putting people in. And once he put them people in his system that he had tried to escape for all of this time, he had no bread, no butter, no love, and no grace or understanding for these people. He was trying to do the same thing to them that other people did to him. The problem is that fame changes people, but we're going to continue to talk about Pooh Shiesty right now because we don't want to get too far into that. Now, his contract was terrible. They had a public fallout. Gucci Mane went fed. And my whole thing is people keep saying that Gucci Mane is a businessman. He's not a street nigga. My question is, why the fuck is Gucci Mane still trying to be a street nigga then? Why are you talking about niggas that you done killed? And when you had your verses with Jeezy, you was going in talking about how you killed niggas, how you so street. But when it comes to having morals and integrity, you're not street anymore. It's just business. I don't know. I don't really get that. It's not making too much sense to me, okay? So, we move on to a Big Scar. Rest his soul. Big Scar ended up signing his contract. He got a little more motion because everyone that Gucci ever signed had motion prior to signing to him. But Big Scar got a little more motion and then poof, vanished. He overdosed, okay? He overdosed. Big Scar overdosed. Enchanting overdose. Enchanting was signed to 1017 in 2020. So Asian Doll signed 2017, got dropped, or she finally got out of her contract that she was begging to get out of in 2020. He signed Enchanting in 20. I had been following Enchanting since 2018. Is that questionable? I don't fucking know. Are we asking questions now, guys? Are we starting to see the plot here? Are we starting to see it? I don't think that Pooh Shiesty's just such a fucking street nigga that can't control himself, that he was just so pissed the fuck out that he felt like he needed to go and rob this nigga or force him into letting him out of his contract. If it was as simple as fucking asking, like, be so serious. If it was as simple as getting a lawyer to negotiate, Gucci Mane was not going to let him out of that contract. That nigga was going to kill him or have him locked up, which, okay, moving on. So we move on from Enchanting. And then I wanted to research because I'm not the type of person to only have subjective standpoints. I like to be objectively correct, especially with my facts. Big Walk Dog. He is somebody that I never heard of, but apparently he had a big song and he wasn't big before he signed to Gucci Mane. But unfortunately, Gucci Mane dropped him after like a year. So I don't know exactly what happened there, the ins and outs. All I know is that the only person who says that fucking Gucci Mane really looked out for him is Foogiano. Foogiano is locked up. Foogiano is not extremely popular, but I know at least one song by him, and he did say that Gucci Mane was a good mentor to him. Now, what that entail, I have absolutely no idea, but the nigga's locked up, so we really have no way of knowing. All I'm saying is it was a series of unfortunate events, and Gucci Mane, the businessman, is a little questionable.